Welcome to
Grab Life by the Horns.
Powered by LegacyBuilders Global, and we are Jennifer Pecan and
Jan-Mark Pecan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Grab Life by the Horns. Today we are talking about better done than none. So you are looking forward to this topic.
Yep, I'm definitely looking forward to that topic.
I give you the word.
Thank you. Wow, I'm feeling blessed today.
The last good thing I'm doing tonight.
Okay. Got the point. So the thing is that a lot of people, when we're talking about better done than none, especially because we're Germans, so we can say that about our fellow Germans. We tend to want to have the perfect solution.
That's true.
And even though that's something we're striving towards, it's nothing worse trying to start with the perfect solution. Because if you, I know it's like all the things you have heard probably 1,000 times, but the iPhone looks much different in version 12 than it did in version 1. It's like if you look at the whole cell phones, if you look at cars, I mean the first car like did not look at all like the cars do today, despite that the first car was not electric. So I mean, all of those things, if you really look at it, it's what in mathematics they call like the iterative approach, where you are basically by failing forward trying to circle around the solution until you find the solution and can like push that solution. And especially in business, even especially this year, actually, speed is so important, because when you have the speed, you have the advantage. And it's something that like creates also a lot of momentum, especially like when you see companies, when they struggle, when people struggle in their life as well personally, what is most of the time missing is momentum. Is that like that the little wins, the little positive things that keep people going and get them to a new level, get them to new success. This is what's really missing. And because a lot of the times, and we hear that a lot from our investors as well, especially from the beginners, is they want to have this perfect time. It's like, I want to invest, but not right now, because it's not the perfect time. It's not the perfect timing most of the time, because they have a family, they have no family, they have kids, they have no kids, they are married, they are not married, partnership. I mean, there's all kinds of excuses. And when you want to get things done, then you have to throw perfection out of the window. And you have to make sure that you push as hard as you can in order to get it, to get the power on the street. Because there's nothing worse than you have a great idea, you're motivated, and then you don't start.
Well, this is actually a good point, because I was I did not expect that you start like that high, I would say. Like I was from Sunday to Tuesday in a hotel on a staycation, of course for the me time as well, but actually for the me time that I can finally focus on my work, and combine this of course a little bit with self-treatments. But the thing is that I'm writing a book right now, and I wanted to really take the time to focus on the topics and to do like to have the time to think a thought through, like from the beginning to the end, which is most of the time not possible at home. And I heard
Why?
Well, that's the best example. And I listened, or I watched hey Said, great to have you here. And I watched an online course for how to write a book. And I can share this with you here. It's a German guy. His name is Hermann Scherer. And I saw this course and I said, well, let's give it a try. So I did it. And what he says basically is the worst thing you can do is sitting in front of the white paper and like deleting all the sentences you wrote the whole day, because at the end you have nothing. And this is the same with business as well. So, and he says, like, doesn't matter what you're doing, just write something. And the technique I'm using is, and this is what we do as well when we have to write text, like we are recording the text and put it into a transcription tool. We'd use Trint, for example. And then you have already the written form, because he says as well, we are not made for create the things, but we are really good in like optimizing or find the mistakes and all the things like that. So, and to improve the stuff. And this is how I started to write my book as well. So of course you get the red line, and then you just put the things on the table. And then you can improve it afterwards as well. And this is how we do our businesses and how we follow up with our businesses, how we do our investments. We just throw it out, and then we figure out on the way. And our partners, they love the kind how we work, because we get things done through this. And the same thing here, like actually this live was planned for tomorrow, but we had a schedule shift in here because now Felix has the time on Saturdays at 10 a.m., our time at least. And we said, well, okay, we don't want to skip it. So now we are here late at night recording the live for you and the podcast for you, doing this live, and share with you our thoughts, just, that we get it done. We know it's not perfect. We would love to have it in the daylight. And, but anyway, what it counts is the content and not,
Yeah, but this is also like when you watch a lot of the stuff from Gary Vaynerchuk and other people, they are advocating for not going, for example, for the YouTube stuff, for not going like for the perfect recording where you like in a studio and stuff like this. And our coach JT advocates for the same thing. It's like basically if you have an iPhone, the camera is good enough in order to record 4K videos. That's the maximum resolution you can get today on a screen anyway, and it's like most of the people will never watch it in 4K. And also for example, there's a trend in YouTube, and when you are and I'm the same, as I'm guilty of that trend, is you put on YouTube and it's like, for example, if I want to learn something or get inspired of something, and I want to listen to a keynote that Gary Vaynerchuk gave, or like a good video from somebody else, then it runs like a radio.
Yeah.
Basically, I put it on, it runs, I'm listening to it, and only if I hear something interesting, I'm looking at the video, and then I maybe pause and go back. And I do that also with very educational videos where people talk about like Facebook ads, or where they talk about systems or investing. Only if it comes to that point that really interests me, I stop and I go in. And everything else I just consume as an audio. So if you are producing like this high quality video, it's like half of the people will probably never watch it, because they are just listening to the content and then just stop at that point when that's the content they need. And it's the same thing with our company, with LegacyBuilders, but also with our partners in Germany. They are getting more and more into that mode as well, is because you just get so much more done if you don't try to perfect it. It's like, do it, implement it, test it, And sometimes, sometimes you are, and in business, actually, more often you are wrong than right. It's you only have to get it right once, and that is true. I mean, you can listen to Mark Cuban or like all of those guys that made it to $1 billion. They said like we had so many unsuccessful tries, but it does not, in hindsight, it does not matter because we got one try right and made it big.
And this is the overnight success the most people are seeing, by the way. Like this one time right. The other failures before, all the pain before, most people are not seeing it. But this one time right, this is what all of us will recognize.
Yeah, and this is the issue, because that makes people think, and made us think in the beginning the same thing, is that you have to get it right. And especially in Germany, there is a big culture. It's getting better, but there's a big culture on if you found your own company and you are successful, then you are a capitalist, and they will probably call you something else as well. But if you don't make it, you are a loser. And there is no culture of failing and supporting the failure and seeing failure as part of life, as it really is. I mean, it's like we have a 3.5-year-old son, and not so long ago, when he started walking, I know it's
time runs.
Time runs, but the point is, he didn't at one day decided to get up and started walking perfectly. It took a long time. He fell very often, and we were there to support. And that's the people you need in your life that support it. But he made it himself at the end, and it was this process of failing over and over, standing up, falling down, standing up, falling down. And this is how we humans learn. But somehow when we are adults and sophisticated, that doesn't apply anymore.
I'm just like, while you're telling this or saying this, I'm just wondering, like, there are adults sometimes falling on their nose as well. Like, would you just keep laying down, or like, like if this happens to you, like
stop drinking,
stop walking,
start crawling again.
Yeah, but basically this is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like, but it is really like that. I mean, look at how many, and I know it from my mom. She fell one time with the skis, and it wasn't a bad skiing accident, nothing broken, just like a little bit of bruises, which is nothing spectacular. But after that, she stopped.
Yeah.
So, and I know it from I know it from my father. He invested in the stock market during the 2000s, and of course every good German had telecom. That didn't quite work out so well. But after that he stopped because he lost the money.
But they made it happen that their children think a little bit different, because your brother had a ski accident as well. A really bad one. And he changed to snowboard.
And he just changed to snowboard. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a successful, but
he did not stop.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Well, the point is really that you doesn't matter how you do it and how you make the things get it done at the end. And we know as well that sometimes we feel we are too slow, or like if we listen to our coach, we always have the feeling that we are too slow and that we not do enough, and then we are going back and think what we can do better is our daily routine. Can we change something to get more stuff done during the day?
Squeeze the last minute out.
Yeah,
basically.
and can we even cut even more minutes of our sleep if we sleep. So this is like all the things what you're going through, and you always have the feeling, and you always see people they are better than you, they are more perfect than you, and there are maybe in this what you are focusing on better. But you have to see the global thing as well. Like you have not only one thing to focus on, you have a lot of things to focus on in your life, and it's not only business, especially if you have family and kids. Like there are so many things to handle.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's like life is not only like this one thing. Life is a balance of everything, how you treat yourself with the health, and that with your fitness, your mental strength, your family and your social your social environment, and of course your successes, your financial success, your business success, your professional success, whatever it is. And this is basically, maybe you don't have to focus on the same thing in this moment, and this is what we realize. And then it's just like, just go back and think again. Do you really need to shift the focus again? And are we still on the right track? Or like just, like, is it just not at the moment the right thing for you? But the only person who can answer this question is yourself. So you have to, because it's your life, you have to watch yourself every morning in the mirror, and every evening, at least, and then and then you should be happy with yourself. But there is always this person who makes it in this specific field a little bit better than you, makes you feel thinking, okay, I'm really doing it in the right way? But doesn't matter. Like, just do it. Of course, there are like, I'm not I'm a bestseller author, but I did not have a bestseller in Spiegel, for example, not yet. But it will not hold me back from writing a book. Like, of course, like this is the next goal. Like, just have the goal that you get better and better and better and better for the next every step you're taking.
It's like the compounding effect. The compounding effect does not only work on money, but it works on actions, and it does not work on intentions. Okay, it's like your intentions will not compound into success. Let's be open and let's be frank and honest. But the actions will. So every single action you take can open a door, there are so many examples where if we wouldn't have done X, we would not know Y, and this person would have not introduced us to, and like we wouldn't know about this investment and that investment, and we wouldn't make the money we're making. It's simple because it seems so easy while you are doing it, but it seems so hard to start with, because it is this like this.
But sometimes it's hard in between as well while you are doing it.
Yeah, because
especially if you have no sleep, for example.
Well, yeah, but I mean it's a good example on the coaching call when he said, it's like, what would it be if I would shadow you for the whole day? What would that look like? Would we have like 3-hour lunch or what? And it's like this things, they sometimes they just make you think, and you are asking yourself that question, okay, what can I do more? And this is like what good coaching does for you as well, is like giving you this perspective where you think like, I really could be doing more on this point.
Well, at least you're thinking about if you can really
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know if you can, but you start thinking about it.
Yes.
And then you start thinking about, okay, it's like, how many coffee breaks did I have? Like, how long did we take for lunch? Could we do anything more efficient? And like all of the things, you start thinking, and like, but that's the thing. A lot of people then stop with the thinking, and they maybe come to the conclusion, yes, I could have done this different, or I could have done that different, but they are not.
Or they take it too personally, maybe as well.
As an insult, yeah.
Yeah, and just take it as an excuse not to continue because it's not too perfect. Like, it's not the ideal way. Like, well, then try it on the next day to get better and to have this ideal way. This is like a lot of people say, well, I tried, but it was not like the things you told me, or it's not 100% or whatever, and then they just stopped it instead of doing it. And I have a good excuse. I said I have a good example. I don't have any excuses here. I have a good example. I just had a conversation today with our VP Xenia, and we spoke about how different cultures are reacting on a mistake or on a failure they did, and especially if you employed them or if they are contractors. So we had this already twice or three times, that when we said, well, this was not good, that the other person just not asking, well, what I can do better, they just like, I would like to offer you that I quit. So why are you doing this now? Like, you just did a mistake. Why you should quit? Like, this is not this is not a thing. And we are realizing this as well with Felix at the moment, that if he cannot do it at the first time in this, how he really wants to have it, like for him, it's perfect, then he just say, well, I can't. And he's not like, because he has not the patience to continue doing it and to keep trying until he can do it. So he said, well, I can't. And this seems to be, and for sure we are not showing this to him. So not that I'm realizing it, at least. No. And it seems that he sees it from the other side, or that he just don't want to continue. But this is it. Like, just, do you want really the result at the end? Do you want to have the success? And are these words or this what you see is stopping you from getting there, or are you just taking it as a help and as something what's helping you to rethink, to restructure, and try another way? Like, just try to be perfect every day, a little bit more. Like, baby steps. Just do the baby steps every day.
I mean, if you improve every day, you have 365 improvements a year, and that's probably more than most people have in their life.
It's true.
And it's those things. It's the same thing when we started tracking KPIs, so key performance indicators. The first trial which we did wasn't really good. Okay, now we're in the second trial, and we have a better idea of what we need to look at. But even though if you are, because you can Google for business, and both of us went to university, and you learn about that you need to track the numbers and the KPIs and things like that.
And the coach says it.
And the coach says it and stuff like that. But is like, nobody tells you what numbers, right? Everybody talks about you have to know the numbers and you have to track the numbers, but nobody tells you what numbers to track. And then even if you ask them, it's like when you ask your tax advisor, you never get a good answer until you know exactly like what to ask them for. So when you are asking like for the numbers to track, you Google around what are the numbers to track for a company growth, and of course you will find something. But does it apply to your company? You don't know until you track them, and then you push because you think this number needs to grow, and you realize, okay, the number is growing, but the revenue is not. So obviously that means this is not the right number for you to track.
That's true.
But you would not know that it's not the right number if you wouldn't have started. So you need this better done than none. And what you then need is, after that, you need this review period. And it needs to be a short period, and it needs to be reviewed like periodically, where you then go and say, okay, obviously this doesn't work, what do we need to change? And then you change, and then you monitor the change. Is it better? If it's not better, then change again. If it's better, then find out why it's better and try to amplify why things are better, and try to drop the things that are not good.
And this is the same, like especially if you start a business. And I had to think about this, I think last week's for, I don't know anymore for which reason, but everybody is telling you, like, if you build a landing page, you should have this, 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 and this. And if you don't have this, then basically nobody is taking care of your landing page. But in the beginning, like, you start with zero. Like, where you start, but does it mean that you're not starting? No, you just have to find a way, like what you can put in instead of this thing, what could be interesting for your, or valuable as well for your client, for your potential client, that you're showing. And and every time, and then, and then the momentum is starting, then the clients come in, then you have the first results that you can show, and all the things like that. So it's building. But if you will never start, you will never have this momentum and the stairs you can climb up, and to build all of this, what's needed. And it's in the beginning, of course, it's not perfect. It's every time but you have to do it. Like, if we would have wait for our tax advisors to found the first company, we would not have our companies today.
We would still be waiting.
So this is, and on the other side as well, before you're just talking, if you say, well, business and investment is all not my topic, as you know, like since a few episodes we are talking about this, we are changing our nutrition. So we eat most of the time vegan now, and this is really tough for us because
it feels really strange because I was like probably the biggest advocate for steaks.
That's true. And we just saw some documentaries, and we realized, well, it might be better, to change the nutrition and to stay more healthy and have the energy. And it really somehow convinced us that this is the more healthy way. Okay. And if and then we just like start doing it. But it does not mean that and we said, well, we do it to 80% because in our head we are not ready yet for the 100% and to make this like really like in the least consequence. Yeah. The last consequences. We don't want to take it. But I know as well that because we feel not really good if we eat normal, like the former normal, we don't feel so good. And this is, and for me I know as well, like the longer I do this, the worse I feel if or the bad I feel if I start eating like
processed food.
Exactly. So but it does not mean that I'm stopped doing it because on the weekends usually we are just cheating. So, but it does not help me back under the week to eat the healthy food. So now you can talk. Yeah,
but that's
You tried so much.
Sorry.
I was not ready.
Yeah, I realized that. I'm sorry for giving you not enough talking room.
Thank you.
But this with the nutrition is also a great example, because if we wouldn't have started somehow with like not the perfect thing and not like waiting for all the stars to align, we would not have started at all, and we wouldn't have realized the benefits.
That's true.
That the more energy we have, the better we feel. So it's like it's this better done than none really works in every aspect of your life.
That's true.
It works also if you have a job. If you can get the job done, and then it might not be perfect, but it's done, and then you go to your boss and basically you say, okay, look, this is a proposal, okay, it's not the final result, this is a proposal, let's discuss it. And I'm a big fan of this. I was a big fan when I was a boss, and I also was a big fan as an employee towards my bosses, is that when you want something like a change, a process or whatever, you come up with a draft, and the draft can be done maybe in 15 minutes and as a sketch on paper, and you take that and then you discuss based on the draft, because everybody like now sees something on the paper and can say, okay, but we're missing step here and this step, but this step really is not really step 5, it's actually step 3, and you start things changing around, and this is where you then create this momentum. And it's the same like it's like the same with raising the kids, with like getting like everything organized in the household, like all of this stuff.
And actually, you would not live under a roof if we would always wait until it's perfect, because like, how do you think like the properties are built? They are not everything ready with all the technical details when they start building. Just this is a process, you know, like they have like the first is just a draw on the paper, and how it looks like, and it's really like with not even with colors, it's just like an idea, and then you go back and rearrange all the things. Even when we restructured our apartment, our first apartment,
yeah.
Like how often we restructured this, and they were already like building, and then we just had a new idea and jumping in. Like at the end, what counts is the result. And in between, you are in the move, and it's a project until it's done. Yeah. And projects are live from this that you are working and changing and all the things. And there's another saying from our coach: the more you change, the more you succeed. So of course you are changing as well in a project, and to get new ideas and to find a better way, and you get even more creative, because when you start doing the things, and I'm sure you already realized that as well, doesn't matter if you learn at school or in university or you start your own job, the more you are in a topic, the more creative you get, and you are. And this is what our partners or potential partners, when we have the first calls, or if we have calls with our current partners, they really enjoy working with us. Of course, like we have the really structured ones as well, and they love that to have an agenda from the beginning, and they want to know before we start what we are doing and when it's end. This is not how it works, but at the end the results are always there. But the plus for them and the benefit for everybody is that they can give their input as well. So you can work together on this, and you have like more strength working on this project instead of if you would not start. And this is what I realized as well, that a lot of people love that we don't have like this is ready and this is not going to change. Like this is our thing, and take it or leave it. Like this is not how it works.
But it's also, it takes courage.
Yeah.
And it takes like you need to find your own way on how to deal with it, and how you are coming up with the idea, and then you go and you will meet critics, but you will have the critics if you come up with the perfect solution, or with an intermediate solution that you change on the way. So if you get criticized anyway, then at least be fast.
It's the same if you want to have children. Like you don't have all the plan for your child until it's 18, like in detail, and you know how it works, because like everything, like life happens in between, and are you? You stop laughing.
Yeah.
But yet you say, well, yes, but children are in the plans of my life, and I want to have children. And you start doing it, then you figure out at the end how it works, because you cannot make a plan. There is no driver license for that. So you have to figure out why it's there. And every child has a different personality. You don't have like a manual with that, how you handle this child. Like, this is not working. So
look at page 56.
Yeah, that would be amazing sometimes, to be honest. I would not be so desperate. But this is like the question would be like, would you not start trying to get a baby because you don't have the plan until your child is 18 and moves out, or like have the first job? Like, no, you're not doing this. You figure out in between.
Yeah, but it's not only that, it's also that when you are but driving license is a good point, because it's like when you get a driving license, you are not a perfect driver. You are just good enough to not kill somebody, right? And to not hurt other people.
Sell yourself,
or you can sell yourself very, very well to whoever is giving you the driving license. So the thing really is it's like when it's like the same when I mean when I made my A level, I was barely good enough to make my A level, but I made it, and
nobody knows how, but
well, yeah. Well, some people know how, but it's like the thing is that even when you go to university afterwards, and then you apply for a job and you get the job, you are not like perfect for the job. You're just like, the company hires you because they believe you're good enough to fit the job and that they can train you into what they need, because they know they will never find the perfect like candidate for the profile, because you are looking for somebody that like wants to be paid like an 18-year-old, is like just after the study, because you want them to be finished with the skills, but you want them to be moldable into whatever you want, but they should have as much experience as somebody that's 55 years old. So I mean, like, we want all of that at once, and they know they have to compromise. And it's like that's the point, is you have to start in order to even know where you need to compromise.
Well, the point basically is, because I just see that we are already actually at the end, is you can listen to that and you can come up with your own opinion, and you might be in our opinion or not. The point is, you will never know what we are talking about if you never tried it. So this point is like, this is just point. This is a part of the experience. You have to do it. Like, just try it once with something which is not comfortable. Go out of your comfort zone and do something. Start doing something and push through, and you will see what we mean with the examples and what we mean with the explanations here, until you get your first result. And if you think back, maybe you have already results in the past and you never realized it, but this is something like you really have to experience.
Okay, just as a disclaimer, don't try it with something that could kill you. Okay, like this better done than none is not applicable if you want to jump out of an airplane. Well. It's better to have somebody that has experience. But it's like, I just want to put that as a disclaimer here, so they are not trying it with something. But otherwise than that, it's really the thing that propels you forward so fast. If you just do it, I think it's one of the things that we, like a lot of the success we have, and that we're now in Cyprus and all of this, is because we just did it. We just did it, and then we figured it out on the go.
Nothing more to add. I had already my last words.
Bam! There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for tuning in today, and we welcome you to the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Do you want to get paid? Introducing Legacy Builders Global, where everybody gets paid. We don't create investors. We create legacy builders. Legacy Builders Global. Visit us at www.legacybuildersglobal.com.